I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women. I said women.
Man School 202. Better hear what I've got to say because you won't get it again.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male either. I'm just a better man. Better man. Well, put your happiness first, because if you don't, they won't. Yo, what up? GYBB, get your balls back. WWDD, What Would Dante Do? The Sexual Revolution is being podcasted, and I am excited what's going on. Harry's a little down in the weather today, tweaked his knee playing ice hockey, gay. So, friend of the show in the building. What up, Pun? What's going on, baby? Well, I don't even have the damn. Dom, we in the well, y'all understand we in the new, old studio, so I'm looking for the guy. There it is. One more time. Punisher in the building. There you go. Good. Digital clock. We also got some special people in that I ran into, and I really like, and I thought this would be a good collabo. First and foremost, I guess provocateur and
problematic.
Nah, I don't think that. I mean, holding people's feet to the fire.
Boom.
Give it up for Eric Brian Stone. Give it up for Eric Brian Stone in the building. And his lovely lady, Teray Gagne.
Yep,
Did I say that right?
Teray Garnier, like the shampoo.
Okay. I like the shampoo. Oh, okay. I feel bouncy.
Yeah,
On Instagram as Mrs. T, advocate, Air Force, prior.
Air Force veteran. Yep.
Air Force vet. Thank you for your service.
Yep, you were worth serving for.
And advocate for women and a lot of the sexual abuse that has been going on in the armed services for women. Yes, give it up for her. Give it up for her. More digital cloud. So I mean, you know that y'all are we usually do my show before Godfrey's and I just was like, yeah, why don't I just let him sit in on my thing? We gonna help some people. It's always good to have some feminine energy. No offense.
Hey, sometimes I gotta bring it. You know?
So let me see if how's your headphones going? You sound all right?
Yeah, I can hear myself.
Okay.
You want me to change
it's up to you. No, that's for you.
Okay, cool.
You
let me know.
Dom, put the numbers up. 513-202 NERO is the call in if you got problems. We haven't been live in a minute, so it's gonna be a little slow. I was out in England with my son, spending time with my son. Took a little fall. He ran away and ran into traffic, and I still got that speed, bro. I still got that speed.
Oh, yeah. To get up out there?
Yeah.
I got to see it now.
Yeah, I got out of the hole, baby. I got out of the hole, but I took a little fall, and I was like, God damn, my knees is killing me. Then oh shit. And then I had a fucking long ass flight, and I just got in. So I'm a little run down, but we gonna do the best. We gonna help some people today. Some of the things I wanted to talk about was on my mind. I just, we were talking about the consistency of so I mean, fill y'all in. So there's a Dom, we need some AC in here. It's gonna get warm in here. I can feel this already. Let me take this eel skin coat. Stop playing.
I'm digging that coat too. That's a fire ass coat.
A little eel skin. You know what I'm saying? A little something. You know how we do.
Man, it's the flex.
But one of the things that we were talking about, I'm smacking, eating these fucking Jolly Ranchers. So professional. My God. But we were talking about consistency and then so just to give y'all a little background, we have a principle that we live in, and the people that listen and people that have been listening. So initially I'll give a little history. I did a radio show with Patrice O'Neal on the Opie and Anthony show back in 2006.
Okay.
And we did like 13 episodes. And it was very sporadic. In the course of 2 years, we did 13 episodes. So it wasn't really consistent.
Dante, we do have a caller on the line.
Let's go. What's your name? Where you calling from, family?
They just hung up. They just hung up.
All
Hopefully
right.
they call back.
They'll call back. But we had we did a show. It was 13 episodes, which was actually the foundation from. I don't know how this happened, but it ended up being all the red pill stuff. So it's what's interesting about the internet is that people will take big shouts to Dom. Yo, Dom, what up, baby? I ain't seen him in a minute. I didn't even say hello. What's going on?
Yeah, you already know.
You already know.
We're rolling.
Stop playing. And so I haven't been live last night because I was going to spend some time with my son and all kinds of shit. But so we got a lot of people in pain. So the phone call should be interesting. But one of the three principles that I talk about on the show all the time, and I'm jumping around. So we did a show with Patrice. Yeah. It was called the Bitch Management. It was called the Beige Phillip Show.
I like it.
And then we
after Patrice died, in my mourning of his death, I did a show called the Beige Phillip Show. It's just more beige than black. It was like they called him the Black Phillip because it was like instead of Dr. Phil, he was called. They were like, you like Dr. Phil but black. He was like, I'm Black Phillip. We got a call. Let's go.
I like it.
What's your name? Where you calling from, family? Hello? What's going on? Is the system a little wild today?
It should be good. It should be all ready to roll.
All right. Well, he'll call back, whatever, or not.
Yeah.
So, but we were talking about. There was kind of this emasculation of men. Not that I think anybody was doing it, but men were just, just not following a lot of the principles that I followed that my dad taught me, which was, and we didn't really work that out, but we were talking about that there was this kind of resurgence, this thing that was bubbling under the surface between men and women, and we didn't really understand it, but we were talking about it. And when Patrice passed away, I did my own version of the show. It was my way of kind of mourning for my best friend's death, and we'd call it. And we used to do interviews, and then we changed it to Man School. But in that time, people got a hold of those 13 episodes, and it became this cult following. The problem is with the internet, you don't know what people attach themselves to. Like, so if you have a message, and this is what I learned about how the internet is really a powerful thing, but it's also a dangerous thing because of the fact that you don't know what they like, what part they're gonna attach to. Do you know what I'm saying? So I know you guys do a lot of reaction videos and stuff about stuff going on, and the game has changed so much that, I don't believe that, probably would have happened anyway, but, like Andrew Schultz, Joe Rogan, they changed the course of.
Yeah, traditional media is dead.
Yeah.
It's over.
And y'all are in the mix of that, like right at the end. And if you can, both of y'all just kind of give me a little background on that. Give the audience what y'all do exactly.
Okay, so you want to go first?
Oh, you can go first.
All right, so basically, am my levels too high?
No,
I'm
not
good. Okay,
no.
cool.
Well, he controls the level. That's just on you. Yeah.
Okay, bet. So
we do have another caller on the line.
Let's go. What's your name? Where you calling from? Hello?
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, what's up? What's your name? Where you calling from, family?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up, baby? Talk to me.
Hello?
Hello? Yo, you gotta turn off. You gotta turn.
My name is
You gotta turn
W
off the.
for
You gotta
now.
turn off the radio in the back or the computer in the back. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
All right, I turned everything off.
Okay, cool. Can you? Is that better now? Now you're not listening to the delay. Hello.
I can't hear y'all.
You're gonna have to call back. I mean, let me see. Call back. Hang up and then call back. Anything going on, Dom? Why the call's not coming through?
I'm not sure. All the settings seem to be right.
All right.
I'm double checking it.
All right. Call back, bro.
But yeah, so basically, I got famous in New York City. I was just a producer. I ran a media company when I lived here, right? And I built it from the ground up. Got famous racist experience at a New York City restaurant on Stone Street in Lower Manhattan, right? And that blew up, got millions of views. New York Post, all of them were interviewing me. That restaurant's been closed for 3 years because they... Can we curse on this show?
Yeah.
Okay, so they fucked with the wrong one, right? They've been having a history of doing that, segregating black people to the back, treating them like shit. They did it to me and my girl at the time.
In the restaurant?
Yeah, this was years ago before I met her.
Okay.
And so then it became a thing where I was just calling out these racist people for being pieces of shit. And now these people who are regular deglers, mostly people go for like the Karens, the viral moments, right? I don't do that. Right? That's too easy. Everybody's talking about them.
Okay.
I go for the people who acting like that in the comments section on social, and I drag them straight to hell.
Okay.
So I put
if they're keyboard warriors.
Yeah, if they're keyboard warriors, we're gonna find out how much of a warrior you really are.
Wow.
And most of them aren't.
Right.
They're barking chihuahuas.
Yeah.
And so what I do is I give them an opportunity to apologize, whatever the case may be, but it ain't me to accept it.
Right,
It's the
right.
black community to accept it.
Right.
And then it became where I help find missing black women. I've helped
dope.
older black men who lost their lands, real estate companies trying to steal from them.
Yeah.
Fought those lawyers and big corporations, banks, nurses.
Wow.
I've taken them all down. So
That's dope.
I've never lost the case.
Yeah.
And the one time somebody tried to sue me for defamation, they lost.
Okay.
So, I basically drag people to hell for being horrible people.
Dope.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And what's funny is like I met you. I was with me and Godfrey was up in DC
Yep.
Improv, and we met Jolly Ginger and them, and then it really was enlightening to me about the whole social media thing. But one of the things that Jolly Ginger said to me is like, it's not his job to call out Candace Owens. Do you know what I mean? He says, as a white dude, like, y'all want to scream her out, you scream out, but I ain't got nothing to do with it. But and I just thought that was dope that, like true allies kind of also know, and you know, in order to be an ally, you got to know where you're at. You know what I mean? Like what's your place and what. But that's dope. And T, please, it's T.
Dante, we do have another caller.
Yeah, let's go. What's your name? Where you calling from, family? Hello? Hello? Yeah, you got to turn the radio on in the back.
My name's W from Baltimore.
Right, you got to turn the volume down on your computer and everything. So
No,
you
I still can't hear y'all.
Dang.
Oh shit, John, something's going on, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. It looks like it should be working. I'm not sure why.
Can you call me from your cell phone, please, and just
Yeah,
call
I can't
in?
hear y'all on my end, but I see y'all on the TV though.
Yeah, I'll test it out with my phone.
All right, hang up. We're going to tell you to call back in a few minutes. Dom, just call me in from your cell phone and let's see if it works from you. I don't know what's going on. We're just a little crazy right now because we switched studios last minute. That's why we were running late. T, talk to me.
Yes, so a little bit about myself. So I basically was in the military, which you had mentioned earlier. I was in the Air Force, broadcast journalist overseas. I came back stateside, got out, went straight to network news. I was a news correspondent, so I traveled all around the world doing news stories. I did that for several years, ended up in D.C., back in D.C. In 2022 is when I decided that I wanted to take a step away from journalism. So during that time, I wanted to spend more time with family because, you know, the pandemic had happened. A lot of people had passed away in my family. I realized all the time I lost with them. So basically, I did a lot of things that I normally wouldn't do. I just started saying yes to a lot of things. So during that time, I ran in a pageant. I became a pageant queen. I published a book to help sexual assault survivors. I published that book, and 6 months later, I was at the White House giving it to President Biden, became an advocate for sexual assault survivors at the White House. And since then, I'm now an advocate for survivors, but also veterans as well. So one of the other platforms that I stood up for were for homeless veteran women and their children, because a lot of people don't realize how many women with children that are veterans are homeless and couch surfing, sleeping in their cars, doing those kinds of things.
Right.
A lot of people aren't aware of it. I was the prime example of that. I was a network news correspondent and I lived in my car.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And so that's why I started speaking up about it, because I'm like, look, I don't look like I'm homeless, but I'm homeless.
Right.
Basically now that's what I've been, speaking up about, and especially everything that's happening with this administration and veterans and survivors with like the Epstein files. And so that's kind of where I come in, and that's what I do to try to help others.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. You do have a correspondent face. You know what I mean?
On point. Yeah.
That's dope. Well, it's just what I was saying even about the thing that we were doing. It was like the initial thing, but so there's 3 principles that we talk about. Is ACE, which is 3 principles. It's authenticity, credibility, and empathy. So in the process of me helping dudes in the grand scheme of relationships and just how to move in general, everything has been crystallized down to those 3 principles. What happened was, so I don't know if y'all noticed, but I was one of the guys who, I was the Pope of the Proud Boys initially when it first.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I was doing my podcast already, and I met Gavin McGinnis, and I came on his show. And what better place to talk to men about being men than bitch ass incels and proud, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, you know, if you wanna molest children, best place to go is the Boy Scouts. You know what I mean? Like that's what you like. And so I went in there, and I didn't really know anything about him specifically, but I was just talking my shit, and then the Proud Boys literally evolved in the context of while I was there. Like the first time they was there, we're gonna start a fraternity. So it was really a joke. Really was a joke. And then I was the guy who was talking to them about women and how to get relationships. And then, but what was happening is the days that I wasn't there, the racism and all the other stuff and the misogyny and the, fuck women and this and that, these bitches and denigrate the housewife and all the nonsense that they do. Yep. And it just kept evolving.
Yep.
And then around, I don't know when I jumped out of it, but I jumped out of it. It just like I saw a Facebook page and there was like some real racist shit on there. And I was like, yo, what's up with this? Gavin McGinnis actually, which is the founder of the Proud Boys, he actually, put a letter out to stop the racism and stuff. But I didn't know that I was so busy doing my own thing. I didn't know that he was feeding into that when I wasn't there, right? And it just kept growing until I finally had to kind of step away. And then I ended up, I'm home one day, like maybe about a year later, and I get a call from FBI comes to me, and the Proud Boys was in Argentina trying to overthrow the government.
Oh my God.
Damn.
That's crazy.
And they were like, yo, I go, yo, I've been out of this for a minute. And then, well, would you want to go? And no, I'm not doing no Black Klansman shit. You out there fucking around? So, but it's interesting how on the internet, how people will take a microcosm of what you're talking about. And then, because I absolutely was about being a man and speaking up and saying, you have preferences just like women have preferences and all those things are the case, but you got to also, but they would just take the parts that they want and they explode that and then they don't have to, because it's difficult. Like if you talk about somebody, be honest, be authentic and be honest. It's the most important thing in a relationship. Secondly, it's the credibility. It's keeping your word. You say something, you do it. And if you're not going to do it, you just don't it's just as easy not to give your word. But if you consistently don't give your word on nothing, then you end up being a wishy-washy motherfucker anyway, because you don't ever stand for nothing. But the other part of it is the empathy part of it, is understanding the person that you're dealing with and what perspective they're looking at things. So one of the things that I talk about, and you can verify this, it's anytime a woman gives a guy her number, she's like, is this motherfucker gonna murder me? Is he gonna assault me? And that's something that I don't know if you've ever had that problem where you thought that was that you were worried about getting raped.
Nah.
I was about to say, it might be.
Yeah, nah, not that. But you do understand there's a safety component. You have to create a space where the way you translate and the way you relate to people has to put them in comfort. And that's just a priority in terms of, especially inviting a woman out in a one-on-one situation. It's you got to just be aware of that. It's pretty simple.
And I'll say this too for the women listening and whatnot. If you give somebody who knows how to do this your number, I can run. You say you meet somebody at the bar, right? And you give them your number. I could run a background check on that number and find out everything about you, your address, your emails, where you went to school, your taxes, everything, just from those digits. Yeah. So really be aware of like that and removing your data off the internet. There's plenty of ways to do it, but I'm telling you, people don't know how dangerous it is.
If somebody wanted to start doing that, how would they go about doing it?
To like remove their data?
Yeah.
I use Cloaked. That's what I'm not paid sponsor or anything. Okay. I like them.
But it works. Right?
Yeah, there's Delete Me. There's I think Cloaked is the only one with an app. You just download it. It's like a Cloaked, CLOAKED, right? Okay. You just download it. You pay $10 a month. It removes all your shit. Right. And then boom, you're good. All your addresses, everything. And
now, how does that work with your social media and the fact that people you're trying to get seen through social media?
No, it doesn't. It just takes down my personal data.
Stuff. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So like me being as big as I am on social, like millions of views every week. Yeah. Right. And it became to the point where stalkers happen. And everywhere we go, I'm getting recognized. She's getting recognized with me because what she does. Yeah. Like, so. And there's levels to this shit, but like, I found a way to prevent it from happening because all my friends would tell me about it. And then I started doing it. And then you see like a graph on that app showing all the things that removed from all the websites that removed you from. And then after a while.
And you use Cloak too, or no?
Yeah.
He introduced me to it.
Dope,
Yeah.
dope. Yeah.
So now it's for somebody to find where I'm at or where she's at is very difficult. And so I advise that to any woman or anybody. Like, if you look like this man, you ain't got to worry about it, right? If you're 6'4" like me, you ain't got to worry about it.
It's crazy. I remember, guys, even when I was stripping, I would get a call. I mean, because like one of the things that I think why he gets it, because that level of confidence and that level of when you're stripping, right, in order to be good at it, you have to have the ability to read the woman's what she finds attractive, and you got to be, and it's, it's instantaneous,
Yeah, you don't have a lot of time to read the room. So I gotta, on a normal basis, I gotta walk in a room full of women that I never met, and a song has to start playing, and then I have to start interacting with them in a sexual nature. And everybody's not receptive to it. Sometimes the only people that knows the strip was coming is the woman that hired me. So there is a vetting process where you have to really.
Oh, this is like a private setting. Where it's like a birthday or a wedding or
That's
whatever.
the majority of the work.
The
majority of the work are like private bachelorette parties and stuff like that. And so something like Cloak. I don't even see, because I need to be as accessible as possible. Yeah. Because that's how I get my leads. But I can understand.
The personal part of it.
I wanted to circle back to, since your dynamic is attacking people in the comments and stuff like that, is it ever a scenario where you're concerned about, okay, what if I call out the wrong person and that escalates to somebody unstable or something?
Nah, because most of them are barking chihuahuas, right? Like, if you're in a room, right, and you got a room full of men, we've all been in these situations, right, or a strip club or whatever, right? It's not the ones who are talking the loudest that are going to do anything. It's the quiet man in the back. That's the one you got to worry about, because he'll strike you. The one that's yelling at you the most, he going to get knocked out in the first punch, right? 9 times out of 10, that's what happens, right? So I ain't never worried about that situation. Plus, I weigh it out, right? If they too down far the rabbit hole, I don't even give them the time of the day, because that's what they live for. They live for this crazy response. The response.
Yeah. Even the negative response.
Even the negative. And then you get the ones who are in my comments every time I post, and they're begging for my attention. Begging, I won't give it to them. Because you just want it for the attention. You're not like a person who needs to be taught a lesson. That's it. I'm going after regular people. I've had somebody who, I get death threats just like anybody gets death threats. When you're on social, you could be a news anchor, get death threats. It don't matter. You could be a comedian, get death threats. You say a joke that offends somebody, and they want to kill you now, right? So I ain't worried about all that. It's more of playing it smart. Now, if I started going for these politicians, then I might have to start worrying. They playing a different game.
I also think it's different for men, because I know for me, when I was a correspondent, I had people threatening me, showing up at my house. Right. I had people threatening to cut my head off, shoot me. I mean, some crazy stuff. And so even when I was getting into this, I was always very particular about not tagging where I'm at when I'm there, tagging it after I've left. Even he'll admit it. I did a background check on him before we started dating. I had a private investigator looking at him before we started.
Too.
Yeah, like,
I
I
the
just
investigator investigated.
Yeah, and I just want to make sure, because especially I'm a survivor myself. So I've gone through these bad scenarios where, someone seemed kind and polite, and then they
that's the whole hustle.
Yeah, exactly.
To bring you in.
They're not going to be crazy when you first meet them. It's a gradual thing. And so whereas he's not too concerned about it, in the past I was for a long time, but thankfully he's helped me find like Cloaked and other things to help me not have my information out there, because I've even gotten like the Postal Service had to investigate mail that was being sent to my house. They thought I was getting anthrax sent to my house and crazy stuff like that. Yeah. So maybe it's a little different.
Oh, I mean, it's definitely
women,
different.
Yeah, like you got people showing up at your house that you don't know, threatening you and stuff like,
Well, that was interesting. Why I wanted to have you on also is because a lot of times me and him kicking it, and I kind of emphasize this whole idea. It's like, so if you're a guy and you don't have like you ain't got no game and you don't have a girlfriend and you're young and you don't know how to approach this. I think the important thing is is if you don't understand the person that you're pursuing, if you don't have the empathy to understand what your concerns are, then that instantly changes everything that you do, your approach, how you approach and stuff. You're talking about, like Punish is saying, I walk in the room and I gotta assess and see who's down and who's not down and where you're at and that's something that in itself is a skill set, because women have been in danger since the inception of women, since there was women, I'm not a religious dude, but since Eve was worried about somebody running up on, and the thing is, but even if you think about that, the bullshit detector on women is in the DNA. It's evolution. It has to be. I don't know if you ever met if you know this content creator, Professor Dave. But he's a guy who takes down flat earthers, and he's been going at RFK and all the anti-vax and stuff like that. It's a good friend of mine. But he's like a science communicator, and I had him on the show and we talked about that this fear is an evolutionary fear. I mean, I forget what the name of it, but there's a thing that human beings have, like, when you look at a plug and you see two eyes, and nose, like you have the ability to recognize faces. That comes from us being in the jungle and being stalked by lions, and our ability to see those animals stalking us. The other ones that didn't have it, they died.
Yeah.
So it's evolutionary in terms of how women have this sixth sense, or with this intuitive sense of how they approach and how they can vet. Now, don't get me wrong, a woman will like you, and because she likes you, and she's getting hit with the red flags, and then she goes, I'm gonna ignore them. But you're never lying to a woman, and I don't know if you would agree with that, where you're lying to her and you're really getting away with it. No. You know what I mean?
Because a lot of these guys. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, well, so I understand for what I understand in terms of women is, if she likes you, she's creating a fantasy of who she wants you to be.
Right.
And so she's going to see you through that lens until you mess it up.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Validation right there. That's it.
So let's see you mess it up. And if you last and you close enough, then you're in there. You know?
If you don't fuck it up, it's all right. I got this pussy for you. Don't fuck it up. Right? And then every time you open your mouth, let's rock it. Like a driving test, So, but I don't think that guys really understand that. And, the majority of the listeners of people, guys who are, having these problems, or sometimes they'll have game on the front end and then they don't, the same thing that gets the girl is the same thing that keeps the girl. Yeah. And I think we don't understand that. But if you think you're lying and you're getting away with it, you're not. You're not. They're overlooking it because they like you.
Yeah.
And then there's more nuanced things. Like if you even just listen to the dynamic of, thing that I caught was you having your concerns of your safety and stuff like that. And then he immediately introduces things like the cloaking and stuff like that to create more safety for you.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that's just an observation, caring thing that men provide. Yeah. That a lot of guys miss, that being
touch me, my youth. Touch
me. But that should be inherent for all men.
Here's the thing, Eddie, and this is...
I say it should be.
Should be. I'm going to tell you something. The swag people who have the swag, the assumption is that, it's obvious. Yeah. I literally, and in the last 5 to 6 years, I have come to the conclusion, I didn't even notice. Guys will holler at a girl on an app or swipe with an app and then never have a phone call with her.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And just set up the date on the app and then show up.
Or not show up.
Right.
And then not show up.
Right. And just never. And I was like, what kind of. So, first thing is there's this thing that I talk about a lot of times is the subtext, right? It's what women read. Women will read your posture, the tonality of your voice, the anxiousness of you to speak. They could read thirsty, if you're thirsty, if you're not thirsty, if you're too anxious. If you're in a situation and T, you're beautiful, physically beautiful. I mean, clearly you know.
You're good.
Yeah. So, but the point is, if I just look at your physical beauty and I've decided that simply because you're beautiful, that I am willing to give up the farm, right? So I don't care. All I'm trying to do is get in you. I'm trying. What you're communicating that.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
In the fact, and there's never a situation where you're not aware of that. You just decide if you feel the same way about it,
Exactly.
and there's all these other things that are involved. And so, if you're not having a conversation with somebody, you should be qualifying her just like she's is she worth my time? Because if you're saying, well, she's pretty, whatever, I'll do whatever. What you're saying is that I have no value.
Yep.
I have nothing really to give. I have nothing that makes this situation valuable for her. And then, and what is she going, well, if it ain't, and like I always say to guys, how does a woman know who you are? You tell her.
Exactly.
Everything she wants to know about you, you're telling her every time you open your mouth. It's a funny thing. There's a comic, good friend of mine. I won't embarrass him to say his name, but he really was like an insecure dude, around women. And I'm at the comedy club, and he's trying to talk to this girl. He just had an amazing set. So the chick is, it's all primed, right? But he's talking to her, and he's like, yo, I'm saying, blah, 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 blah. He talks real fast, and he's moving, he's shuffling, right? And I go, yo, come here.
Coming off anxious.
Come here.
Yeah.
I'm like, dog, you running around like a squirrel, like trying to get a nut, And if I could see the body language, she sees the body. Now he murdered on stage, so she's trying to
Trying to give him a chance, trying to like him. Yeah.
And he's bound. I like, listen, take your feet, put your feet shoulder length apart, stand up, right? Stand up straight. Every time you talk, and I see this a lot of times and you get this a lot with pickup artists where the guy will lean in, and you say, just whatever I want to make sure I hear everything that because it's so, where you should be standing up, projecting your, such and such, and she goes, excuse me, and you don't lean in, you project louder.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't mean you scream. But
right.
Projection. It's easy.
And understanding that communication is going on is paramount to how somebody perceives you. Yeah. Now the problem with it is if you ain't really that dude, you ain't gonna be. It's only a matter of time till you get exposed.
Yep.
Well, going back to the apps thing, the reason why I believe guys are doing that is because they're collecting profiles. They have no intention on ever talking to the women that they're liking. They just want to be able to brag and say, hey, look, I got all these girls on this app and I could reach out to them anytime I want, but I'm really not that interested.
I don't agree with that. And I'm gonna tell you,
okay.
no, I'm gonna tell you why. You're looking at it from the perspective of an attractive woman. Women do that. Like they will pimp you for your attention and but here's the difference. When I would say something that I'm gonna give you a perspective of a guy. When if I call Eric and I go, yo, you wanna stay home and eat, or you wanna go out to eat, and he goes, yo, ain't nothing in my fridge is empty, right? Fridge is empty to him means he got a water bottle, some ampicillin, some pink medicine, maybe some roach eggs, right? and a half a Coke. That's empty for a guy. If you say to a woman, you want to go out and eat, or you want to stay? Oh, there's nothing in the fridge. What that means is she got a half a turkey. She got some leftovers. She got some stuff in the freezer. She got a couple kinds of juices. She maybe some flat ginger ale that she don't want to eat. You know what I'm saying? It's what she means is, I don't have the things that I want.
Yeah.
When a man goes, I don't have the thing, I ain't got nothing, he means I ain't got nothing. So there's never a situation, and even a guy who is a hoe, it's never a situation where he is confident in a way, where he's cocky in that way. I mean, he may be cocky in that way in situations, but the minute he get a chick that's on his level that ain't really falling, like if you look at Drake, how pussy he acts.
Dante, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, we're rolling.
Okay, all right. Put the number up, please.
You ain't wrong.
Well,
about that.
I can't get.
Go ahead.
I want to piggyback on her thing because I noticed that with women, you guys think your experiences are similar to ours.
It's not.
Listen, I stay off those apps because I get my feelings hurt, which is I lived my whole life as a man sought after by women, and I get on those apps and I can't get a match.
Yeah.
And when I do get a what?
Even when you're shirt off.
And when I get a match, it's like, Grandma?
I didn't have that problem.
Yeah. Well, look, what I was going to say next is this is a show with men trying to understand the blueprint.
That's it.
Yeah.
Obviously, you did well for yourself, right?
Appreciate
So
it,
what's the blueprint, bro? How
Let me
did
tell
you pull
something.
it off?
And are we taking this caller real quick? Or?
You got a call?
No,
he's still trying to get
Okay. So what I will say, right? Because when she was saying like, guys, well, because we didn't meet on the app, right?
Yeah.
She sent me a DM. Okay, it was
slipped into
direct.
the
Oh, she slid into the DM.
Yeah, she knew what she wanted and she got what she wanted.
Hey,
right?
Dante, I'm pretty sure we got a caller on the line.
We got a caller. Hold on one sec. Hold that.
Okay.
What's your name? Where you calling from, family?
What's going on, Dante? What's going on, Pine? What's going on, everybody? This is Jay from Florida.
What up, Jake? Talk to me. What's up? How can I help
What's going
you?
on, man? So, I'm chilling, man. So, I ain't gonna lie, man. I've really been looking forward to you guys going live. So, this upcoming Thursday, 2 days from now, will make it 3 weeks. I've been laying the bricks 5+ a day, and it's realistically been more like 6 or 7 because I try to aim for like a maximum result, so I don't want to just
put a pin in that real
off
quick.
the
Let me
minimum.
explain to you. 5 bricks is I have a process which I put men through that basically teach them how to. And one of the things that I do is I have them go out on the street, compliment 5 women a day. Right. The compliment has to be non-sexual. It has to be honest. And it has to be not just the women you want to have sex with, just women in general. And you do that 5 times a day, every day, for as long as I'm counseling you, you do it. But I mean, I try to look at, and the first thing that you do, you learn. It's so life changing because of the fact a guy who's insecure and doesn't think he has any power. When you give I'll give you an example. Like, if I was gonna like give you a compliment, I would go, "Oh, your eyebrows is on fleek," right? And the thing is, your eyebrows are on fleek,
Right.
and so I'm complimenting something that is true, something that you specifically worked on to make it so. Whether you went to get it done, the fact that you went through the pain of the threading or the whatever it is, plucked or whatever, the fact that I'm complimenting, what I'm saying is I admire the time and the effort that you put in to be beautiful, as opposed to be like, oh, you hot.
Right. That's not specific either. Yeah.
Like your mother and your father fuck. That's why you hot. Do you know what I mean? So and it's non-sexual, so that the what you call, get out my candy. I'm saying.
I'm back in New York, baby.
As soon as you feel that there's an insecurity there, then the defense is up. So when he's talking about I just want to explain that so y'all understand. Go ahead, family. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no worries, man. I'm sure that helps everybody be on the same page. But if there is something that I can say, just as a fan that's been kind of tuning into you for the past 2 to 3 years, in the almost 3 weeks that I have been laying the bricks, just so everybody who's listening can get another, account. Since I started doing it, man, I definitely feel my confidence has risen up a little bit, especially because when I'm laying the 5 bricks, like you mentioned, it's staying completely non-sexual, staying honest, and just. The more and more that I do it, the more and more I engage in it, the more I kind of kick myself in the ass for not jumping on it sooner, especially because I've, been listening to you for so long. And
did we do a consultation or no?
We haven't done one yet, but I know how when you mentioned laying the 5 bricks, obviously this is something that you should be cognizant and
Right,
doing for the
now,
rest of your life.
let me just say this.
But
The
how-
reason
go
why
ahead.
the consultation is DanteandHarry.com. Click on consult, and you can book time
Right.
with me. But one of the things about the eventually, like now that you start and you start to see that your confidence goes up, but there's so many nuanced things that little task has such it's like my Mr. Miyagi. It's my wax on, wax off where you learn in karate and you don't even know what you're. The first thing you're doing is you're not allowed to get the number. So you're paying, and you are not allowed to, at least in the first place. And I don't really move you to the next phase. You have to have a consultation before, because what happens is,
Which is fair.
The fear that you have about just engaging is you think that the worst case you're gonna get cursed out. But what you don't get cursed out because number one, I'm not trying to get your number. I'm paying you a compliment, which is purely giving. I'm not looking for nothing in return. I'm not even looking for the number return. I'm not even looking for you to say thank you. And that is intricately part of the bigger picture, because if I'm not looking for the return, now it's non-transactional. How can I lose if there was nothing at stake?
Yeah.
My investment was simply charity. I think your eyebrows are amazing, and I'm gone. Now, as a woman, you go. That's it. Like you know what I'm saying. If you like a mother, you'd be like, well, wait. I mean, I like you. You know what I'm saying. But you got to keep moving, because you have to get to the point where you understand what non-transactional communication is, and it takes time. Now he says he's doing 5. Let's say he says 5+, but 5 a day, every day, 7 days a week is 35 women. I know pimps that don't talk to 35 women a week. You know what I mean? Yeah. And
no,
so
that's correct.
3 weeks is 70s. What is it? 110 women that he's talked to in 3 weeks. Yeah. And he says he's doing more than that. So the point is just the repetition of that is what gets you comfortable. One of the other principles that I put in play all the time is that you never let emotion have a seat at the table. I used to bare knuckle fight. He did martial arts. I may or may not have knocked. I can't deny or confirm, but the point is, you cannot fight. You cannot execute your ability when you're afraid or when you're emotionally involved, because your brain's proficiency cuts down to 1/3. That's just psychological. The fear. That's why boxers train so that they can get punched in the face and still maintain composure. So if you fight Mayweather and you punch Mayweather in the face and he goes, "Ow, my eye!" the fight is over. You know what I mean? I not only that, but my ability to take your best shot and then go, all right, let's go. It's like it even communicate. I got to pack a lunch. Yeah. So this is what this does. But go ahead, brother. I'm keep talking, Jay. What did you want to say?
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries, man. But yeah, I was just gonna say, even now, I want to say after about a week and a half, just me laying the bricks, man. It initially started off as, do I want to approach her? I like this about her. Do I want to go up and mention this? What if she freaks out? What if she this, that, and the third?
Yeah.
Now it's to a point where laying the bricks so like comfortably and frequently, there is without a doubt no type of apprehension in that regard. It's gotten to a point to where, like, let's just say if I'm out at the gym or if I'm out at the grocery store or something like that, and I see a lady, and obviously I would like your opinion on this approach too. Sure. I would see somebody that catches my attention. I would be like, oh, well, there goes 2, there goes 3, there goes 4, as in there goes that number of brick. And even then, to the point where, like, once I get to 5, I'm pushing past the 5. I aim for like 7, maybe 8. The most I've gotten in one day is 10,
right, just
to really maximize the amount of results I can get.
Now here's the thing. What you got to understand is the first thing that happens is that anxiety. You remove the anxiety, because when you have anxiety, you can't be your true self, because it's like you want to be as comfortable talking to a woman as you would be to your best friend, like where. You're not afraid of what the response is and the fact that and it's the thing, because anytime you talk to a woman, you trying to use her as a dick cozy, like, and she knows that, and so there's a situation where she knows that's the case. You know that, and now y'all are both acting like that ain't really what's happening. But what happens is, especially like like Punisher, when you're the pursuant, right? And a woman, like I used to do this, and like even when I was stripping, like there were women would be like, "Oh, that's all you in them pants," and I'm like, "Oh God, this is so disgusting." I can't believe you would objectify me like that.
Yo.
Meantime, I'm standing on a chair on my tippy toes with my balls in your face. I'm like, I get this is, oh my God, right? But the thing that would get me, because I was a super performer. Like I used to stand in front of the mirror for an hour to 2 hours a day and just practice, right? And when a chick would say to me, "Oh my God, I just love the way you dance," I would be like, "Really? Like you, for real?" So, because it was something that I earned, something I worked for. So that's the dynamic. That's why the response is different when the compliment is true. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand this, and you were saying like how you know what it is or whatever. But the point is, a lot of guys don't have that. They like you fall into that by accident, but most guys.
They don't got it. They don't got it.
They just don't fall into that.
And that's okay. I'm not shaming or whatever the case may be.
No, I know you're not, but it just is what it is. And some dudes have that, and some dudes don't. You know, and I've just learned a way to teach it. Go ahead. You was
No.
Yeah, and so I was like, well, how can I teach this from the ground up in a way? And so you were saying what was your question? Jay.
So I actually had like 2 or 3, but so
give me the 2 best ones. Give me the 2 best.
For sure. So the one thing I do have, typically when I am laying a brick though, approach a woman, lay the brick, keep it moving, right?
Right.
So one thing I have been doing is like I'll make it a point that after I lay the brick, and let's just say it's an area where that same lady is still kind of in that same area or just wherever I'm at, I'll make it a point to like kind of avoid her only because we know how with women, like you say it all the time, women have to, whenever they're dealing with the dude, they have to be, wary of the fact that they might get essayed or anything like that.
Right.
So whenever I drop the compliment, I make it a point to just go about my business, but also try to like remove myself from, a setting where she might be, to ease any potential feelings of uneasiness.
I mean, I think it's great that empathy, from an empathy perspective, that you're aware of that, because that's what most guys, they're just throwing spaghetti against the wall to see what sticks. And the fact that you're even in an active place where you're thinking about what she thinks about is a great thing. But also, which I get that. I'm not against that or for it. It's either way. But if I pay a compliment to you and I pay the compliment and I'm in the post office or I'm shopping, like I'm gonna go do what I do. Like,
can I piggyback off that, because I love that you're teaching this, and so this is gonna be from a woman's perspective who's received this. So I'm gonna give you a little quick story. So I would say a year ago, I was going to my mailbox, and the mailman, who I'd never seen before, was putting things in the mailbox, and I was standing there waiting, and I said, "Hey, is it okay if I get my mail out?" And he said, "Sure, give me a second." So the next thing you know, he grabs my mail and he says, I'm really glad I got to help you with this. And he handed it to me. And at first, I looked at him like, is he hitting on me? And someone I would never consider at all. And I said, "Oh, why, thank you. That's so kind of you." He said, "Yeah, I did it because you look like someone I care about." And though that phrase
made you,
I went, "Oh, well, you know what? You have a wonderful day. Thank you." And it made my day to the point where I called several people after that and was like, this random mailman just said the nicest thing to me, and I felt all of it. And after I got my mail, and he said, "Have a great day," and he just went on about his work, and that
the
was
fact
it.
that he went on his the point was like nothing gained, nothing lost.
Literally,
this was just a great exchange.
A beautiful human being,
and
that's why I wanted to share that story. I wish I knew who he was, because I'd shout him out on this show. But
he's
so
probably
what you're
in
doing,
your bushes afterwards.
Yeah, watching with some binoculars, So I'm glad that you're teaching these guys to do this, because it's so important. And like I said, it made my entire day. Just that simple compliment. You look like someone I care about. That's why I want to help you out. I'm like, whoa,
It's. But I think you gotta be. But one of the things that you said is the fact that he just went on with his business and stuff. It was like, what is this? And then he's living his life. And then she gets to assess. Well, it's like I wanted to, because it was so nice. I wanted to, like this is the thing. So this is the dynamic. I want you to see. This is why the consultations is important because it's the little nuanced things that you need to be told. Like, sure, you can start this on your own, but it's like you need to understand the fundamentals and how you're changing. So, moving out of making yourself scarce is one thing. That's fine. But if I'm at the post office, I'm not leaving the post office and leave my space in that line so that I ain't doing that either.
Right.
Because you're supposed to operate. But go ahead.
And let me speak to it too. Be careful with that also, because the whole point of this is authenticity.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're already pre-planning a scenario of, well, I laid the brick, let me get out of there, that doesn't really sound
it's
authentic.
inauthentic.
It sounds like it's a goal-oriented thing you're doing, and you're
which is transactional.
Yeah, and you're robbing yourself of putting yourself in a comfort zone.
Yeah.
If you're already overthinking it. So dude, you have to really get comfortable being in the presence of a woman you just communicated it with is not something you run away from.
Big shout, $10. Thanks, Xavier, on the Cash App. Right. Thank you. We just put the Cash App up. But send me some money, goddammit.
If I can piggyback off of what Punisher just said, because I think that was an excellent point. When I say more so avoiding, it's more so like I don't want to make it seem like I'm legit running away from
get it, but what you're saying is you want her to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And that's just the wrong energy, bro. It's still the wrong energy. If it's authentic, you compliment it, whatever you compliment it, then that's that. And you go about your day in a natural way. Yeah. And you allow her to do the same.
And this is the thing, the great thing about the principles. If you just keep referring back to the principles, you're never wrong. It's like, you say, well, should I do this and do that and do this? Then the question is, am I being authentic, right? And by you, like what you said, is by preconceiving, yeah, you want to have empathy. Absolutely, that's one of the principles. But you also don't want to be inauthentic. Like, so now I got to run away from her because which breaks the whole point of the thing. Like, I like your eyebrows. Ah! And then
a little bit different. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But the subtlety of that is that, which is thanks, Punisher, for because even I miss a thing. But the other thing is the empathy is important, but the authenticity, if you just keep referring back to those three principles, you always end up dope. Yeah. So like if you're a guy and you got a bunch of women, you can have a bunch of women. You just got to be like, yo, I'm not really in this one-on-one thing. It's not how I get down. I really like you and I'd love to spend some time with you, but
and women appreciate that.
Sure,
they do.
The honesty, absolutely.
Sure.
We rather know what if you want to be monogamous,
then I can make a decision.
Yeah, then we can make the proper decision. But if you hide that stuff, that's what we don't like. Yeah. But I much prefer a guy be upfront and be like, this is what I'm looking to do, et cetera, et cetera. And then I say, okay, this is what I'm looking to do. Let's see if they both mesh.
And I've been in plenty of situations where I was with multiple chicks and I was like, yo, this is how I get down. Like, I totally get that you may not, but I don't want to, I had a chick who was like, I would love to come by and then I go, yeah, but I don't really want you around that much. I like you and I like being around you, but
at least you honest.
But not brutal, but brutal. But I would also say don't be honest to the point where you're destroying. It's not you. I just personally like my own person. I like me. Yeah. And I like being around me, and I just don't want to. Or I don't want to talk on the phone that much. I mean, like I'll say, yo, you call you just too much. Stop.
Look. How I found out when I was young, like years ago. I didn't want to be in a relationship, right? I was young, doing my thing and everything like that. A woman, a really good friend who I'm still friends with, right? She just said, just ask if you want to be friends with benefits. That's it. Just straight up. That's all you're looking for. 9 times out of 10, the woman's going to be like, oh, like she said, they appreciate it. Because you're not trying to manipulate.
And they might just go,
then they're not into it. And then they go. And they might be like, oh, I actually like you. I want more of that. And if you're not okay with that, then you bounce. Right. Whatever you want to do.
She
you
gets
make
to pick a choice.
She gets to pick a choice, right? Yeah. Instead of you trying to, women ain't stupid. they know when men are trying to manipulate them to get them in bed.
And sometimes they're trying to manipulate you into the relationship too.
You
So
ain't lying.
you could
No.
say, "Yo, I'm not getting down," and they'll be like, "Oh, I want to, and I want to do this, and I want to do that," and then you think, and I'll be like, "Look, I ain't gonna want to do that."
Yeah.
So whatever the fuck I just want, let's re-up and be clear. I've been in situations where the girl likes me too much. Where I'll be like, "Yo, you like this thing too much. Stop.
Breathing down my
Take it
neck.
easy. It's just making me uncomfortable."
Let me tell you something. I dated a girl that started out friends with benefits. We agreed to friends with benefits.
Yeah.
It was cool. Then all of a sudden, anywhere I went, even if I flew
She
out,
showed up, yeah.
she showed up.
Yeah.
I could fly to a different city.
Yeah.
Hey, I bought a ticket. I'm in your area.
Yeah.
Let me breathe.
Yeah.
Shit.
She had a plan.
Like
she
you
never
know.
listened to that.
she
friend
never-
with
yeah,
benefits. She was like, "Oh, I got this."
Yeah.
And then she
I'm gonna
manipulated me into a relationship.
and understand this
Yeah.
that you don't like. You're never gonna be in a relationship that you don't want to be into. Like people don't do what they don't want to do. They'll do what you want them to do for a period of time, but eventually it's it's like get the fuck, or you know what I'm saying? It's it is what it is. So just keep that in mind. And, what else did you want to ask, and then we're gonna move on.
Real quick. Okay, awesome. Real quick, I did want to piggyback off what the lady said. Just from
Miss
laying
T,
the
Miss
5
T.
bricks. Miss T. Hi, yes, Miss T. Yeah. So, damn, I almost feel messed up now. But anyway, so I would lay the 5 bricks and stuff like that, and even then, just with the authenticity of it, I would notice like some women would actually be very appreciative of what I would compliment, like say their hair or like a butterfly
If it's
tattoo.
but
like
that
they
only
respond
happens if
very
it's honest.
Right.
See, something
yeah.
is not going to
So-
affect you if she didn't put time and effort into it. Like it's
Right.
if you got. Here's the thing. I one time it was this lady. I was laying. I just said she had like this bright red burgundy hair. You know how they do the bright. But I'm seeing it where it doesn't look like it, and not that it would look authentic, but it just. And I was like, "Oh, I love your hair," and she was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much." She was like, "Oh my God, my cat died, and my grandma's sick, and I just wanted to do something different with my hair, and it's just like I saw it, and it just looked weird, and I just was like, I don't know if I should go outside, and the fact that you just made me feel so good that you complimented, it's just I said, no, it looks great on you. Oh, thank you, I really needed that, and she's like, I gotta go. I came out to buy an onion, like. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
making
funny.
chili. I need but they'll have that. So
Yeah. So Dante, real quick, that last question, so you can move on to the next call and do what you got to do. I did want to ask, what was the update on the dinner with Dante thing
Still
you
working.
mentioned,
I'm
and
still
also your book update?
I will put it up. I'm still working on the book. I'm still working on the social media stuff, and we're working with this year. It's definitely gonna happen after January. We're definitely gonna do the dinner. I'm trying to set up a thing where I will take 30 guys and just sit down with 30 guys, have dinner, and just like we doing now, just kick it with them. And any questions they want to ask me, whatever you do,
That's dope.
So and then I'd like to do it in some of the major cities: Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore, Philly, Jersey, New York, just the majors, New Orleans, Houston, and just do it, like 30 guys, set up like where the meal is, and then, just would pay for your drinks, and then, so we're working on it. It'll be done next year, definitely by next year. Okay?
Sounds good. Dante, thank you for everything. Thank you guys all. I'll be tuning in, and y'all have a wonderful night.
All right, bro. Appreciate you. Put that phone number up too, bro.
Wait. I got to get back to it.
Yeah.
So you slid in the DM.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Well, you know what? You started off.
Okay, so basically, so I'm very active on social media, and I would say maybe a year or so ago, I was scrolling through Instagram, and this video popped up where it was this young black woman, and she was like, "Oh my God, I love me some Eric Bryanstone. He is so fine." And then all of a sudden, all these women are commenting in this video about him, and I'm like, "Who is this guy?" Right? And so I go on his page, and I'm looking through his page. And I liked what he was standing up for. He was calling out racists. He helps black women get recognized, get respect. He was helping black veterans. I'm a veteran. So that was like instant, like, okay, I'm going to follow this dude. He's good people. And so, I started producing these little comedy skits, and I would send it to him, but he didn't get them because you know how on Instagram it goes to request. Yeah. So he never got them. And so one day he had posted a photo that he was at the Capitol, and I was like, oh, snap, he's here in D.C. because that's where I live. And so I said, well, I'll just send him a message and see, I would like to meet up with him, but I was reaching out to him to do a collab. So I'm like, maybe we could link up. We can go to a protest or something, just figure out where our missions align and see if we can kind of, protest. Protest.
Yeah.
Sound like him now. So I sent him a message and I said, hey, I see you're at the Capitol. I'm heading over to a protest today. Maybe I can meet you afterwards. And so he messaged me, hey, I'm not there right now, but maybe we can get drinks sometimes. I don't drink. So I said, or we could do coffee or dinner. And so he goes, yeah, let's do dinner. So when he said that, I said, well, first when he said, let's do drinks, I knew he was single because at the time I didn't know if he was or not. So when he was like, oh, no, let's do drinks, I said, oh, ain't no dude gonna ask a woman to a business meeting for drinks, right?
So basically, no protest because she was trying to figure out if I was single or not. Let's be real.
Protest because I was heading to a protest at the time.
Okay, Miss T.
I was.
We get it.
I was, and so I said, okay, well, since you're not from the area, I can make some recommendations on some restaurants. He said, okay, cool. So I sent him like 2 or 3 restaurants, the names of them. But when I sent the first one, I sent photos of
There was not one picture of the restaurant. It was all her modeling inside said restaurant.
I was modeling inside the restaurant.
Miss T, that game about sharpest them eyebrows. Sharpest them eyebrows.
That's all it is.
And so basically we met up and we've been pretty much inseparable ever since.
Yeah, hit off.
So.
Yeah, and then y'all had a little protest after dinner.
Oh no, he didn't get anything on the first date.
I don't even
You don't need to know. Don't get me started now. Because I'll
there was
set it up
definitely
there.
some protesting going on at some point in time.
It was in with the 48 hours, I would say that.
Dante, we do have a caller on the line.
Let's go. Wait, big shout out to Antonio. Thank you for the $10 on the Cash App. Thank you, brother. Send me some money. God damn it. What's your name? Where you calling from, family?
Hey, this is Ace from Philly, man.
What
I
up,
called
Ace?
you back in like February.
Yeah. What's going
you
on?
Remember
Ace?
the call I had?
Yeah. What's going on,
Hey,
Ace?
yeah, I want to update you on an update that I sent you, whatever the fuck. But anyway, I want to update you. You remember I had the Puerto Rican wife, and her best friends was from Venezuela. They came with us to my crib because they were scared as shit of that Trump fucking deportation shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So long story
And
short,
your wife was
you.
actually kind of down for Trump in the beginning, right? Or was it?
Yeah. And I told her don't climb up that ladder and pull the ladder up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get out of here. Cut that shit out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then she finally voted for Kamala, which was okay. She
All right, I got you. I just wanted to give everybody the context. But so what happened? What's the update?
Okay, the update is, basically, the two girls, she as I said at my crib, they're making money on the internet. I remember I told you that. Long story short, I'm talking about 2 weeks ago, which is now 2 weeks ago. One of them, you know what I'm saying, she coming out, my wife is a nurse, so she works a late night nurse. And, I'm a bus driver in Delaware, so I get home at like 5, 6 o'clock. But it was all cool. The other 2 girls was all cool. But long story short, about 2 weeks ago, one of them, she making dinners and stuff, this, that, and the third.
Come on, Ace, spit it
And
out.
I'm like,
bro.
Come on, let's get to it. When did she try to blow you, nigga? Stop. Get to where she came out in the fucking boy shorts and tried to suck your dick. Because we know where this.
Yeah,
go ahead.
He think the feds is listening. He think his wife listening to this too. But just let us know, bro. We here, man.
It's a setup.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, she came down, empty shit. And I'm like, yo, she bad as shit. Like, whoa, in my head, like, goddamn. But at the same time, I've been with my wife for 12 years, and I'm not a cheater. Right. I don't play that shit, and my wife don't play that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, I ate the food.
Because if your wife did play that shit, then it would have been on and popping. Ah!
Exactly. She'd beat my ass in both of them bitches.
Yeah, the way you were stalling, we know she would beat your ass.
Stammering.
You said it. I didn't say
stuttering and stammering. She came that down. So
He said
but
2
go ahead,
weeks,
Jay.
like 12 times.
So are you? So what's the question? Are you surprised that this happened?
I'm not. I am surprised.
Okay,
but I'm not surprised.
Let me tell you something. Here's the first thing you gotta. This is what I say all the time about when you listening to this podcast and you're ascribing to these principles, right? I've said this to 100 dudes, maybe 1,000 dudes. Whenever somebody does a consultation with DanteandHarry.com, click on consult, stop playing, send me some money. That you got to understand that these when I do a consultation, I'll ask them, how many friends do you have that you ascribe to that is authentic, tells the truth, credible, keeps their word, and is empathetic to other people. And if they say one, that's a lot. Most of the time they go, you know how you was stuttering before you was talking about her trying to blow you? They do the same stalling because they can't think of anybody. Because the principles are, those three principles are so rare in people in general, not just men, but especially in men. Because we all know we got dirtbag friends. We all got dirtbag friends that lie, cheat, do all kinds of. But what you have to understand that this is where I always say true wisdom is the understanding of underlying concepts and how it relates to situations that seem irrelevant. Supply and demand tells you that anything that there is a scarcity of has a higher value. Do you understand? And so if you're a man with integrity, a man who's authentic, a man who's credible, a man who's empathetic, we're not even talking about what you look like or whatever, you got a six-pack or whatever, but I'm saying just those things are so rare that makes you a commodity. And it's so rare, the more fucked up dudes is your stock is going through the roof. Now, somebody can't really... so if you're not they're not physically attracted to you, then they may not invest in the scene. But these women are living with you, and they're watching you how you rock with your wife. They're also watching the fact that you didn't go, you didn't dip in when you could have dipped in. They're watching you be a stand-up dude, go to work every day, just being a righteous, credible dude who's empathetic to his wife. You got kids too? You have kids? Jay?
Yeah.
And they're watching you interact. Women are watching this and they're watching it and they're gathering information. And so this chick who has nobody, and then you let her stay at your house because she was afraid of getting deported and stuff, you have exhibited the same safety that you're talking, that like Eric was saying, to check this cloak shit out, you need to get yourself, you're exhibiting, and so it's just natural that she would find you attractive, even if she didn't find you physically attractive initially, because women don't hook up just on that. Yeah, looks is something, but you can't have a, look, I know there was a chick that used to be a co-host. I kicked her to the curb because she's a liar. But she tried to, I never tell you that. We had a female co-host, and she hung up the phone on me. Like, we were talking, and I was like, if somebody hangs up the phone on you, what they're saying is, I never want to speak to you again. Yeah. And so I was like, she hung up the phone on me. I didn't call back. I didn't even go, yo, why you...
Yeah, this is disrespectful.
Then Monday, she was like, I tried to get in the social media, and you're fired. What about a pimp let you hang up? What kind of pimp let you hang up on me? Well, I can't believe you. No, we done. She said, so I'm fired? I go, yeah. So, okay. Then she tried to charge me the passwords. This is back when Facebook was big. She tried to get a rack from me to get the passwords from. So this was a chick who came from LA that didn't have a coat in the staunch winter, and I bought her a coat. Then we didn't fuck, didn't try to nothing. Just, you're cold. I'm gonna take care of you. My point being is what you exhibit is the depth of the attractiveness. And that's why they and don't sleep. The other one's thinking about it too.
Yeah. Do it.
Wow.
No, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me.
Yo.
I'm not the guy to listen to.
Okay. So my question is like, okay, I didn't do nothing with the chick, right?
Yeah.
And the other one, she was cool. I did not tell my wife, but I want to.
You got to tell your wife.
I didn't tell my wife. I have to, and I want to. But I in other words, I really in my head want to kick both of them out. You dig what I'm saying?
Well, you got to tell your wife.
I don't know.
That's a good way to get them out.
Yeah.
tell the wife they're going to be gone.
They're going to be gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
but I don't want to lie to my wife.
About what?
I don't want to lie to my wife.
About what?
I don't want to lie because she's gonna say, she would be eyes wide. That they're my friends, and I don't want to tell my wife the truth.
What's the truth?
Because she would beat their ass.
Doug, listen.
Yeah, and she would beat their ass.
You have to. Here's what I would say.
She would literally beat their ass, and I know that.
Your friends have to go because
I want them to go.
Okay, well then you say your friends have to go. I don't need you to. This is what happened. And before you trip, I want you to understand nothing. I'm coming to you which only strengthens the bond between you and her.
Exactly.
But you still got to, I understand she want to beat their ass, but Doug, you're the man of the house.
Yep.
You don't let her go crash out like that. You don't let her crash out and then she crashes out and now she got a court appearance because she beat somebody ass. Like, you don't let that happen. You gotta, just like we talk about the same reason why these women want you is the same kind of protection that you have to give your relationship and say, you're not going to beat nobody. They have to go, right? And it's clear if you want it verbally or whatever, but I'm not going to have them jeopardize my wife's freedom. I love you and we have kids and we're not going to let nobody, and they got to go. But I'm telling you, they got to go.
Okay.
Well, can I just ask a question quick?
Okay.
What level is you and your wife's trust and relationship between y'all two? Do you think you can go to her? Because I've seen crazy scenarios where you tell your significant other something and then the friend gives a different version and now you're caught in between.
Yeah, but it don't matter, because if that's what the relationship is, that's the relationship anyway. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, I do understand what you're saying is where the friend does this, but let me tell you something. Yeah, and we know this, like, real niggas do real shit. You know what I'm saying? So when you got somebody that's suspect, it's only a matter of time till people show you who they are. That's going to happen. Yeah. So it really, look, if she's going to jump out the window and go, she said, first of all, you need to be the first one in talking. Yep. You need to tell her. So the fact that you're sitting around waiting, put yourself at risk. This is going to come out. You want to be the one. I feel what you're saying.
No, it's going to come out. I'm just saying you better be the person
that brings it out.
Yeah.
And if she's going to freak out, and let's be in mind. Let's keep this in mind. She's also aware that if she tosses you to the curb, you got two more bitches that try to get, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't like you gonna be, how long before you gonna be out in the cold, really? So let's be honest. This is supply and demand. This is a buyer's market, bro. So but you need to deal with this immediately.
Yep. As a woman, I agree.
Before she connives and goes behind your back and sets the legwork for this foot to blow up in your face.
True, and to answer Big Punisher's question, me and my wife are on a great level. I'll tell her, I'm honest. You know what I mean, because she's the one that I married. You know what I'm saying? So I'll tell her everything.
But let me explain something. Let's go back to the principles. Is it authentic for you to know that this happened and you haven't spoke to her yet?
Mm-hmm.
And every day that you spend after that, because she's going to ask you when, And the longer you take to tell her, is the less credibility that you have. You should have said it.
That's why I asked. If it happened yesterday, I'm not even gonna ask.
Yeah.
But the fact he waited.
How
2
long?
weeks,
How long is it before this happened?
He said 2 weeks.
Yeah, so you got to get in there.
And
That
about-
builds,
You got, when
pressure
you get off
between
the
you.
phone, when you get off the phone, you
You
better
need to have
talk.
that combo now.
And you go, listen, I didn't want
Yeah,
you.
but
I didn't want
at
you
the
to
same
fight.
time,
But just be honest. I didn't want you to beat nobody
Yeah,
up
but
and
I
end up
didn't.
in prison. I didn't want this. These were my
Right.
concerns, and I probably should have told you immediately, but I didn't. And it's just I just been avoiding these bitches, and I'm uncomfortable in my house, and I didn't want. I know these are your friends, and I didn't want. And just be honest. And anything. Look, even if you end up in a rough patch because of this, right? She's crazy that she let two hot broads, live in your house. She's crazy.
You ain't wrong. She's gonna be mad at first.
Yeah.
She's definitely gonna be angry at first.
Yeah.
But the thing is, she will respect you more.
Yeah.
She will respect you more that you came to her about this. So like Dante saying,
Yeah.
I suggest you do this.
When you get off the phone,
you need to go have that convetion like now,
Yeah.
like yesterday.
And have the ice cream ready too.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
she ain't gonna get home for about another few hours.
Yeah, and that,
like I said, she's
plan
a
a-
late
you
night,
know what you could do?
late night nurse.
Plan a protest. Y'all go to
In 48 hours.
Okay, but yeah, you got to handle this immediately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you go back,
I definitely
you go
will.
back
I
to the,
definitely
you go back
will.
to ACE, authenticity, credibility, and empathy. You sitting on this is not. It's not. You're not being empathetic to her. How's she gonna feel? You're not being credible because of the fact you say that you're not cheating and this is you trust her. You're not doing that, and you're not being honest by being authentic. So you have violated all three principles.
Yeah.
In the course, and been violating it for the last 3 weeks. You feel me?
I didn't violate because I didn't do nothing.
Yeah, but
though.
you didn't say what you were supposed to say.
And that's why I said do it, because you're moving like somebody who wants to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You right. I get it.
All right?
I get it.
All right,
Yes.
All right, Jay. I'll holler at you, baby. Thank you.
You got it, bro.
All right. Yeah, it's an interesting thing because he's also thinking about like how do I and it's like
Sometimes you gotta just rip the Band-Aid off.
Oh, you always got to.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it's one thing about being a stand-up comic, right? There's never a situation where somebody heckles me and I don't. I check them, and then they heckle me again, and then I don't go. Look, you can get the fuck out. Like no, like I may give you a little spanking because maybe you don't understand the etiquette, but if you coming back at me, I'm gonna let you have it.
Yeah.
And it's like psh, look, this is not how we do things. But right after that, I'm gonna be like, hey I'm gonna tell you right now, dog, you gonna get thrown out.
Yep. And don't get mad because you started.
Right, and you gonna get thrown the fuck out,
Yeah.
right? And if you keep talking to me, you gonna catch these hands too. That could happen too. So I was in California, and it was this dude. They have like a gong show, and the dude. So they have the guys do 2 minutes, then they light the person, and then after 2 minutes. You could boo them after 2 minutes, but you give them 10 minutes and they do it like because soccer is big thing, so they put up a white card, and then another white card, and then everybody boos and you get booed off, right? Yeah. If you make it through, I think it's 5 minutes, then they pick the winner at the end, right? So I'm the celebrity guest comic on it, and so the thing is, because of the Gong Show, they feel as though they have power because they've been booing people and deciding people's fate, right? And so I get up and the dude go, "Hey, mate," and I was like, "Yo, you ever heard the joke about the heckler found dead in the dumpster?" And I was like, "I'll tell you after the show. Hang out. I'm not. We not. Shut the fuck up. So." And what you have to understand is that, when you allow these things, I'm not saying that people can't. Sometimes people don't have an understanding of what the etiquette is, and that's fair. But when they've pushed past that and they're being out and out disrespectful, You know, that they're showing you like this is what it is.
Yeah.
And you know, like he knows me younger when I was like wild, and what'll happen is you'll have an altercation. It's like he was asking about people coming at you or whatever, and you basically said what I say all the time. I said 95% of the motherfuckers don't want no smoke.
Yeah.
There's 3% of the motherfuckers that are sociopaths that are just out of their fucking mind. Yeah. And then there's 2% of motherfuckers that stand between the sociopaths and the regular people. I've always said I was the 2% of motherfuckers. So if I go, yo, my man, calm down, right? Usually what happens is, yo, man, fuck you. Who's you? Yo, who the fuck you talking to? But really, nobody don't really want the smoke. Everybody's looking to win, and to get an off ramp.
Yep.
But and he knows me when I was a young, you know, like I was older than him, but I was still a youngster. You say something, I say, yo, check yourself. You go, oh yeah, nigga, who the fuck? Bang!
Right.
Now, and we win because why? Because they wasn't ready for that. They didn't really want to smoke. Hey, I thought we was gonna escalate, and then we would go.
I just sped up the process.
Yeah, I just want to know. I want to know how this turns out. So let's see how it turns out. Now you could do it holding your eye. So it is you gotta, you know, that you have to lean on that honesty, especially that's what becomes your value, like your credibility, your character is the thing that becomes your value. And when guys talk about, well, women don't do this and women don't do that, you know, like another thing is like we talking about the apps and how I didn't even know this. Guys will get on the app and then they'll just like set up a date and never had a conversation with you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like you. I know I like your titties. I know you like it. I don't know if I
like when you guys were saying like she was saying how guys will stack up.
Yeah,
you know, women.
Yeah,
I did that.
Yeah, but
like,
yeah,
so
but
100% because I'm gonna take you on a date and I'm gonna easily spend $200, $250 on a date. Right, especially in New York City. Right. And now I'm gonna go every time I match with somebody. That I think I like. You know, I'm going to take them on a date and spend, you know, $200, $300.
Yeah.
Even if you go on a short, little, simple date, $50.
Yeah.
You know, that adds up real
quick,
right?
Sure.
So,
But I don't know if that's stacking.
Because you ain't really making a decision.
Because how quick did you pay for that date with her?
Oh, well, no, but she stalked me for 2 years.
Here we go. Here we go,
no, but with her, it was simple, right? Like I looked at her profile and I was able to analyze her profile and see this is the type of person I like and want to be around, right?
So I agree with that. So what I found myself doing is you get like I stack,
yeah.
I don't stack. There's certain things you click on and it's like
I think stacking is you match with somebody that you're attracted to. Right? Mm-hmm. And what I've seen a lot of guys do, or not even a lot, just me and some other guys I know, is you'll see women you match with, you're like, cool, I matched with them. But then I got these 10 others that I also matched with, right? And so instead of deleting them, you go, well, if it doesn't work out with this one, which is a bad mindset to be in, right? Because then you didn't value that other person in the first place, right? Yeah. You're going, I got this other option.
And that's what I meant when I say they like to collect them.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so then
like
you know what? Then I do the same thing. All right, I'm exposed.
Yeah, 100%. Because you're looking at options.
Yeah, look at that options. Yeah. But every now and then you get that gold mine, and it's like
boom, you want to go. Yeah. But then you go in the back of your mind going, man, I matched with this fine woman. She's perfect, everything. But in the back of your mind going, but maybe I could do better. Maybe I could do better. Yeah. And so you hold on to it, and sometimes you hold on a little too long, and that girl's gone. She already unmatched you, right? Yeah. Or she waiting for you because you the best thing she could get, right? So it's really a cat and mouse game at a certain point. I don't like dating apps.
I hate dating apps. I hate them.
I mean, it is the way in which we, you know, I mean, it's the way it's done. But even if I say this about the dating apps, a lot of times, it just your primary goal is to get off the app and get on a phone call.
Yep.
Depends on what your age is and where your mindset is. If you're
I'm
21, you're trying to, like, a lot of guys, they're trying to smash a lot of women, right?
Yeah.
I was never the one night stand guy. It's too much high risk in that.
You have so much to give. You don't want to just.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you something. I could have.
I get it. I'm fucking with you.
But here's the thing. I'm like, man, every time I got to play a guessing game, you got something, you got something, you not got something. I want to do all that.
Well, I'm gonna tell you one. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, just sum it up. Q&Q, man.
Q&Q?
Quality over quantity.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But when you're 20, 19, you ain't thinking.
But when
about
you're
that.
in 20 is when you got to start thinking about it, because here's the problem. The minute you got some hottie, and you, first of all, I tell guys like this. If you know, and young dudes especially, be like, girls don't like talking on the phone. Well, then you can't talk to me. Like, I'm not. Why would you let a woman dictate the tone of how you're gonna operate in the context of how this is that you're not comfortable with anyway? Like, and here's the thing: if I don't want to talk to you on the phone, I definitely don't want to suck your dick. The chasm between the intimacy between talking to me on the phone and then going from that to raw dogging and shooting up the club is so wide.
Yep.
When I have a phone call with you and then we have a date, it's I even say this, like, when you go out on a date and the girl goes on a date, and if you meet up with a girl on a date, the first thing you say, "Hey, how you doing? You mind if I give you a hug?" Because you need to start the contact. Mm-hmm. She needs to get comfortable with you touching her, because if it's not work, if you hug her and then she's
right,
and she got the ick already, you make the date short. Stop wasting your time.
And no side hugs either, because then they think, oh, he don't like me. It's just a friend thing.
Well, to be fair, I hugged you first.
No, well.
When he showed up for the date,
you about that motherfucker.
We were looking at each other, and I think we had that, like, are we going to shake hands or are we going to hug?
Yeah.
I was looking at my phone trying to figure out where I was. Like, is this the right building?
Yeah, that's
because
true.
I was new to D.C.
Miss T will put your dick on a scale. She'd be like, look, get it up here.
She did.
That's
why I'm in a relationship.
Let me change it. Let me change this from kilograms to fucking pounds.
But however, like, when you get into these things, these women can feel your energy immediately.
Because they've been doing it their whole life.
They've been doing it their whole life. And these guys come in, not knowing what to do, stuttering, not confident.
That's why you lay the 5 bricks. And that's why you check out my consultations at DanteandHarry.com. Get that money. Also, check out my Patreon. The Patreon is Manschool202. Patreon.com/Manschool202. And plug your.
Yeah, you can find me on socials, Eric Brian Stone, Brian with a Y, on all platforms except for TikTok, because Trump just got my ass banned on that motherfucker. But other than that, I'm everywhere.
All right.
And I'm on Instagram at Miss_T_Garnier, like the shampoo, and you can find me on Threads, Facebook, and Instagram.
Pun, talk to me.
At Get Punished on Instagram. Y'all know the book, Search of Freezer Meat. It's a whole different thing. And just hit me up, and then Manschool 202. I'm here.
Big shout to Harry Turjanian and his podcast ADHD. Check that out too. He had tweaked his knee, so he couldn't make it today. He'll be here next week. And all my stuff, the Dante Nero. Google me, bitch. Stop playing. Fucking telling y'all know what it is. And don't forget the consultations. DanteandHarry.com. Click on consult. GYBB, get your balls back. WWDD, what would Dante do? The Sexual Revolution is being podcast. We love y'all, man. We out of here. Peace.
Manschool 202. Better hear what I've got to say, because you won't get it again.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male either. I'm just a better man. Well, put your happiness first, because if you don't, they won't.